Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Gold Mason, back for another SPL game, or 5. As I mentioned before, I'm going to be covering every single game, and I'm going to do it in one video. So let's get it going. First we've got Fruhdazi versus sadlysius. Going to be an interesting game, and I'm excited for it, so let's hop in. The Tyrants versus the Scooters, and both are kind of fighting for a spot in the playoffs of the tournament, so definitely an important, pivotal match. Fruhdazi clicks Toxic, trying to catch this exactly. Lets a spike up, but does catch the Pert. But Pert is going to be refresh if sadlysius is switching it in. And we're going to see the Fori come back in. Not the Gengar that maybe was expected, but Salamence coming in for free on Rapid Spin. And now Tyranitar is in on the Starmie, so might be a crunch. Stays in on the Surf and clicks crunch, so... Oh! It's so close. Starmie barely survives. Jirachi's going to come in on the Surf again, but... yeah, wow. Barely survives. It's going to click recover. Oh man, and Fruhdazi's going to let it go back to full, or potentially, yeah, back to full. So Tar has been used for basically nothing. Starmie is back at basically full, gonna switch out. Here's the Gengar in on the Skarmory too, so threatening with Wisp. Oh my gosh, this is a good situation for sadlysius right now, after some unfortunate turns for Fruhdazi. Here's the Celebi. Sadlysius does need to be a little afraid of Hidden Power Fire. Alright, maybe not. Just goes for the Rapid Spin. And Fori is going to be quite low now. If Skarmory does have... Well, Skarmory's burned. I was going to say if Skarmory had Drill Peck, maybe it would do something, but no, it won't. So that Fori needs to die before the Skarmory starts setting up the spikes again. Drill Peck from Zapdos, trying to hit the Celebi, but Fruhdazi goes to Jirachi. Jirachi takes nothing from that Thunderbolt, and is probably going to click Toxic here, so I expect a switch. Clicks Fire Punch instead. Pretty much the same effect, except Pert does not need to click Refresh now. Earthquake does 60%. I mean, with Leftovers and Wish and Protect, that's not going to really phase Fruhdazi here. And Skarmory's going to make it in. Spike's going to go up, but... yeah, Fori is going to be back at 26%. The burn on Skarm is really annoying. Yeah, here's the Rapid Spin. The burn on Skarm is really annoying because it means that... yeah, wow, Pursuit did 17%. Means that even if Skarm did have Drill Peck, it would not be able to just beat down the Fori and then put the spikes up. This is going to be some positional play for a while here. I expect this to go for a little bit. Gengar's going to come in on a Wish. That does force Jirachi out. You don't really want to take a burn on Jirachi, because then some things that you kind of bulked out before, you don't bulk out anymore. Really nice switch to Tyranitar. Gonna get new lease on life for this guy, as he is going to beat down this Gengar. Only 41%. Oh wow. Okay, maybe not. Gengar is gonna take some damage, but not enough. And Fruhdazi seems very interested in keeping that Tyranitar alive. I would be too. You're gonna get that Gengar. Wow, if the Starmie had... Okay. Gengar trades the rest of its life for big damage on Celebi, which does let the Zapdos in. Drill Peck is going to do a lot to the Swampert, and more importantly, usually Drill Peck Zapdos carry Grass, but this one doesn't seem to be carrying it. Yeah, Starmie looks really strong now. Oh, wow. Okay, never mind. Sadlysius lets Starmie go. Here's a Jolteon. I guess it's Ice Zap, Grass Jolt. Looks like it. I was going to say Starmie looks quite threatening if it was... Well, I guess it was Recover Surf, so it's probably Thunder Wave. I mean, that's still really good. Thunder Wave on Jirachi. I expected Starmie to be able to kind of clean up at the end there. At least get the para on Jirachi. And yeah, with the Celebi so low, you actually do kind of present a threat. Jirachi has been paralyzed in exchange for a Toxic on the Zapdos. Which is a decent trade for Fruhdazi. We'll see what happens now. Swampert's going to come in and die to Ice Beam, but that means that a Wish gets past 2 Celebi, so Celebi is back in the game. And now it's suddenly looking better for Fruhdazi here. Fortress is going to come in, but that's just going to bait a Hidden Power Fire, not really going to do anything. Skarmory's still alive, so Spikes will be able to go down afterwards, and Jolteon, oh, Psychic, calling out the switch, potentially to Swampert, but instead Zapdos takes a big Psychic. It is faster than Celebi, but it is going to go down to Toxic plus the Mence being faster, clicking Dragon Claw. Jolteon's going to come into Revenge. Possibly you don't even need the Skarmory anymore. Yeah, I was about to say, you possibly don't even need the Skarmory anymore. Everything that you kind of wanted Spikes for is dead, other than the Jolteon. So now you just have to make it through the Jolteon, and you can spam Hidden Power, or sorry, Giga Drain now. Yep. Big crit gets Celebi even further out of range. The Jolteon's very walled. It is Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave, Hidden Power Grass. So Jolteon is very walled by the Celebi anyways, and now it's gotten all of its health back. Fruhdazi has played this very well. The Wish pass from Jirachi really coming in clutch. Down Salamence goes, and now Celebi can't even be... needs to be re-Thunder Waved, which is fine. Celebi will trade killing Jolteon for the Thunder Wave, and then probably switch back out and come in and just kill this Pert. Yep. That's exactly what happens. Jirachi's probably going to click Wish. Okay, does not get to click Wish. Honestly, it doesn't really matter unless the Celebi gets frozen here. That is the only win con for sadlysius. If it even survives a Giga Drain. It does. Back to full. Are we going to see the Ice Beam freeze? That's the only way. It does not freeze, and that is the game. That is done. Well played from Fruhdazi. Really managed to pull back from a tough position. And I'm wondering if this is 1984, the H-Clad team. Oh, no, that has a Gengar. All right. Still, yeah, a very Fruhdazi-esque team, and it went ham. I mean, it's 3 attacks, Celebi, presumably Leaf Seed, and really went ham. Really went, did exactly what he wanted it to do. So, well played from Fruhdazi. All right, we are on to Baddummy versus Arctic. Salamence in on the Skarmory. Mag as Blissey comes in. All right. Arctic now has some information. I expect the Skarmory to get trapped later. There's a para. Now you really want to... Oh, wow. That Earthquake was trying to catch a Magneton from Arctic coming in. And instead it's Hidden Power Ground Skarmory. Goodbye, Magneton. And now Arctic has a very strong lead here. Magneton gone on a Snorlax Heracross team, while the Skarmory is still healthy, is very nice. Here's Melodic. Heracross is not taking leftovers, so presumably it's going to be a Salic Heracross. Megahorn misses is not great. You lose another little bit of chip from the sand. And now Arrow is presumably going to force the Heracross out. This might be Weather Reese. Well, no, you're not Doug. I was gonna say like maybe something for the Heracross, but no. And Melodic is going to look very annoying. A secondary part of this Magneton is helping with the Melodic later in the game, but it's not going to happen. And nice double from Baddummy to the Suicune. Presumably that was going to be the spike turn, and full para is broken, so who could have seen that coming? So what I assume is going to happen is Suicune is threat number 1 on Baddummy's side. Arctic has to be very, very careful about how he approaches dealing with the Suicune. Toxic into forcing it into rest, into roaring with Scarm is definitely a viable strategy, and one that I assume will be employed here. Blissey comes in to take the potential Surf, but now I assume Scarm will come in. There it is. And Baddummy will take both rest turns in exchange for being roared. Here's Heracross, the worst possible Pokemon to come in now. As Skarmory will finally get its... Nope. Full para. I'm telling you guys. I 25% chance to just never move. Like, alright, cool. Rock Slide misses. Another full para. The Skarmory has not moved. The Skarmory has gotten one move off, and it's been Roar. And there's the Drill Peck. Alright, finally. Jesus. Suicune is in. It's going to click Surf into Melodic. And we're going to see this whole song and dance again. Toxic will be clicked. A couple Calm Minds. And then Arctic will go to Blissey to tank the Surfs until Suicune is forced to rest. Interesting Surf, though. Maybe... I don't know. Maybe trying to... Oh, it's just to hit Snorlax for damage. Expected maybe a switch. So, Suicune clicks Rest, as Melodic clicks Recover. And now we're going to see the song and dance again. 2 turns of being fast asleep will be burned. And then there's the Roar. Last Metagross is very expected. You need a Rock Resist. You need something that helps with your Blissey matchup. You need something that helps with a lot of things, and Metagross is the guy. So this is actually a structure that I quite enjoy. This is my favorite, probably one of my favorite archetypes in ADV is the Mag Snorlax Salamence, the blue offense, basically, with the Magneton. So, as far as win cons left, the big one is obviously Last Mon Suicune or Baddummy. You have to be a little afraid of Aerodactyl, but not too afraid. Here is the rest. And, yep. Baddummy is now fishing for paras on the Roar turn. Just in case you were curious. Because paras on the Roar turn means that Baddummy will either get a nice big fat chunk of Skarmory's health, or potentially click Roar himself, because he has not revealed his 4th move. I expect potentially a Roar. Roar Suicune fits here. Big boom from Metagross. If that Blissey is not toxic, then that's actually maybe game winning. If the Suicune, pardon me, if the Suicune is not forced to click Rest, yeah, boom on the Salamence, catches the Snorlax. This is a CB Mence, by the way. It is doing way too much damage. Yeah, 40% on a Rock Slide to Blissey is crazy. Flinch here would do it. And there it is. Alright. I mean, around 30% odds to not move is always going to be good. I don't know. The Skarmory's gonna, what, click Drill Peck? And then it's gonna be Suicune versus... Yeah. Arctic just wants as much damage as possible on the Suicune. But baddummy decides to deny that. Oh, potentially could get an arrow, an Intimidate on arrow is what I think the plan is. Ice Beam is to potentially freeze Blissey, put it in range. Now I expect Suicune to just Calm Mind to the moon. We'll see what happens. The Blissey has to have a way. Okay, Thunderbolt works, sort of. I was gonna say Blissey has to have a way to make Suicune go to sleep, and this is the way. So it's really about now. Aerodactyl flinches. Potentially Thunderbolt crits. See what happens. How many Thunderbolts? So only 2 clicked. So yeah, it's 10 left. Oh, it is a Calm Mind Blissey. Okay. By the way, while I was watching this, Ice Beam was revealed as the last move on the Suicune, which makes a lot of sense. Tough matchup in Immense. You kind of have to choose whether you want to roar or whether you want to have a good matchup in Immense. And now Blissey with the Calm Minds is actually going to be able to threaten Suicune out of sleep. Yeah. Baddummy just has to play for the end of Thunderbolts. 8 of them are gone now. Or, yeah, 8 out of 24, rather, I should say. 10 out of 24, so... I guess I should just put it in the frame of reference of 12. So yeah, Blissey probably... Oh, here's Arrow. Is that enough damage? It is. It is. Oh my gosh. Is that Adamant Arrow? Double Edge is doing so much. I guess maybe was just trying to find the rolls for Suicune. That's just going to be game. Goodbye. Yeah, well done from Arctic. Well done from Arctic. Really brought it home there. It was possibly Adamant Arrow. It fits on this squad. But yeah, did 47% to the Suicune with Double Edge. That's nuts. Might have been just like a modest Suicune without like a lot of the bold bulk that we're used to seeing on these endgame Suicunes. So really well played from Arctic. Brought it home. Let's go on to the next game. We got Triangles versus River. Skarmory versus Tyranitar lead. Standard. Fire Blast does 64, but the spike goes down. This is just classic ADV. Nice Protect to catch an extra Fire Blast PP and potentially get out of here. And actually, River goes to her own Skarmory. Going to take a Surf in exchange for the spike. I don't think I need to say anything. I think everybody knows there is a Claydol on Triangle's side of the field. I mean, it's a Skarmory melodic team. I don't think I need to tell you that there is a Claydol, there is a Blissey, there is a some sort of Wincon, and there is some sort of Rock Resist. I mean, it's just not even Rock Resist. Just yeah. There's like a Metagross or something like that. I mean, I don't need to keep going on about this. There is a Body Slam Jirachi on the side of River. I'm going to click Wish. Melodic does not want to keep that really broken status paralysis on it. So, but River says, no, you're taking this. Here is the Wish coming down, and we are in for a long one, folks. This is going to be long. I don't even think I need to justify this one being long. I'm going to click Fast because I don't want to sit here. There's the Claydol. We'll see if River has some sort of way to make progress into this Claydol. Toxic, potentially not going to be it if the Hidden Power Fire Claydol. All right. Are we going to see an Aroma Bliss, or are we going to see like a Refresh Claydol? No. That Tar clicked Fire Blast earlier. I was going to say it might click Pursuit, and it does. But meets a Dugtrio, so down Tar goes. Traded most of its life for that Claydol. And if it has Refresh now, it has Rest. Okay, so really bad start for River. Also, I don't know why I didn't mention the Doug trio. There's always a Doug trio on these teams. So, there's the Blissey. And it's going to be some sort of win con in the last spot. I mean, some sort of just like Metagross fits and, you know, actually literally anything fits. As long as it's something that makes progress. We're in for a long one. We're in for a very long one. There's a Starmie from River. Yeah, I don't expect River's team to match up well here at all. Here's a Rapid Spin. Presumably... yeah. Threatened out by Thunderbolt, but good heads-up play from Triangles, clicking Ice Beam. Celebi. Alright, yeah, that fits. And matches nicely into River's team. Here's a Recover. Presumably Hidden Power Grass Leech Seed will be the Celebi set, but third Spike goes down, and River's going to Force Clay it all out with Starmie. And actually... catches the Blissey coming in very nicely. But, yeah. Melodic is always going to be able to come in on this Pert. And always going to get his health back. So, River really needs to pressure the Blissey. Here's the Gengar to keep those 3 spikes down. Ice Punch on Psychic, yep. Are we going to see a Boom, potentially? Triangles needs to be careful about that. Oh, Destiny Bond. Triangles tried to call out the Swap. Hypnosis Destiny Bond. Interesting. If Hypnosis hits this next turn... oh. If Hypnosis had hit there, that would have been an amazing read from River. But... unfortunately, the Bliss is back to 81%, and River needs to do that same thing of catching the Blissey. Here's the Recover, and River stays in. This is somewhat common to catch the Celebi, potentially with an Ice Beam Freeze, but River does not find one, and now River probably does need to switch. Even if Triangles is representing Recover, Hidden Power Grass will ruin River's, life. Jirachi is really going to be holding this team together as we get into later in this game. Starmie's going to come in. Jirachi is really going to hold things together, is what's going to happen. And we'll see how well it can hold things together, but Blissey comes in. I kind of expected Pert. Ooh. Ice Beam to catch the Gengar, but the Wish, it barely survived enough to grab the Wish, and yep, the spikes are now gone. So that big threat that River had is vanquished, and if you want to put the spikes back down, you're going to have to take Thunderbolts from Blissey. So really tough situation from River here. Calm Mind on the Protect turn. Maybe this won't be as long of a game as I thought it would be. If there's a Calm Mind Blissey, I mean, what really does anything into that? Yeah, here's the second Calm Mind. Triangles is being very respectful of the Focus Punch Swampert that happened earlier. I don't know that you really need to be. I mean, I know that the last move is Earthquake, but... Alright, here's Spike number 2. I think we're going to see Spike... oh, no, not Spike 3. Here's Jirachi. Body Slam. No Para. Spikes are gone again. Alright. I mean, I think the Blissey just wins. Yeah, I don't even... yeah, I think you just click Calm Mind on that turn and then click Ice Beam. Then what happens? Triangles is respecting this a little too much, but it's fine because he's like in the lead and he's very projected to win this game if he just plays solid. Fire punch as the spike goes down. There's the oh no. Gengar gets parried on the Thunderbolt, and that is just tough. Might have been the biggest part about that Triangles was waiting for was attrition on this Gengar. The wishes were going to it, but you know, 10% chance to just not have a Gengar anymore. Tough. Possibly see 3 spikes go down for both. But Triangles is very fine with that now that the Gengar is weak. Rapid spin from River, and actually that's tough. This Starmie is presumably offensive after it clicked Ice Beam, so it has to come in on the first spike every time so it does not lose more health. Oh, okay. All right. Well, Starmie gets a nice crit into Skarmory, and it's gone. Does go down to the Doug follow-up, though, which means the 1 spike will be there to stay. Probably doesn't flip the matchup at all. Does allow some... no, doesn't really flip the matchup. I mean, again, Calm Mind Blissey and Melodic and Rest Claydol just kind of win this anyways. Very unfortunate Toxic Skarmory game. If it was like Drill Peck, maybe. No, I couldn't do anything. Rest Claydol is tough. Alright. Burn turns on Claydol. The way Triangles is playing this is going to take another 100 turns. He's being very, very, very safe. I mean, I feel like you can take a risk or two. Not even a risk, just like, you know, I don't know. He's playing it very, very safe, which, credit to him, he's a good player, and he knows what he's doing. And he's willing to spend all of this time, you know, sitting on the Skarmory here, so. Burned turn from the Claydol. Here's Leech Seed. Swampert's going to come in. Claydol will wake up on another turn, but yeah. Melodic can just... Claydol would have woken up on that turn is what I meant to say, but Melodic just bulks that out every time. Melodic is not really threatened by anything on this team. Alright, Wish. Psychic Click to potentially deny the Gengar coming in. But Skarmory is now back to full. It's going to take some Hidden Power Fires. Eventually, now if I'm Triangles, right? I'm looking at my Doug trio, and I'm looking at that Jirachi, and I am trying to figure out a way to potentially get my Doug trio in on that Jirachi. Potentially not at 100%. And stuff like this Surf are great ways to do that. Triangles is, yeah, playing this just really, really safe. The Jirachi is the glue that's available here. And removing that Jirachi will just end the game. Hands down. I mean, there's no doubt about it in my mind. Melodic can close the rest of the game if the Jirachi is not there anymore. So, but there isn't like a boom or something incredibly forcing to do that. So Triangles has to do it very slowly, the way that he's doing it currently. He has to do it through chip damage. He has to do it through potentially letting something die later, but there's not a really good candidate for it. There's no real need for it. So Triangles can just let the Jirachi stay in, click like Leech Seed like here, force it out, and the rest of the team is not nearly as resilient as the Jirachi is. So So again, allows melodic in. Fishes for a freeze, but not really going to happen. And melodic is going to get another surf off on the Jirachi, or just goes for the recover. Potentially gets a surf off here, though. Nope. Yeah, Triangles is playing this incredibly safe and incredibly measured. He is just waiting for his opportunities. He's slowly chipping away. You can see Toxic come in. And we are limited by the Skarmory Toxics, of which there are 9 out of 16. Eventually, we'll not have any more, and the Claydol will rest off the last one, and that'll be that. Also Mischance, of course. Leech Seed misses. That's nice for River. Gets a little bit more. A little bit more value, but not really going to be enough, I don't think. Here's a Roar. Melodic's going to go back to 86. Yeah. And yeah, Jirachi's forced in again. Where is the Leech Seed PP? It's 8. And we've got 9 Wish PPF. Yeah. I'm actually surprised. Was there a Psychic on this Celebi? No, there wasn't. I'm surprised that the Wish wasn't passed to... Well, Gengar's at 70%. I guess you don't really need the Wish on it. Yeah. Triangles is going to let this go in for another 60 turns. Get some... You know... Get some value here. And then... I'm just going to see Roar over and over again. And here's the spin. The Doug Trio, the River in the chat was saying that she wanted her way to win. Her way to win is for Doug Trio to come in on those spikes, which Doug Trio has not been coming in on those spikes. If Doug Trio took, 2 spikes, then eventually the Doug Trio will be so weak it will not be able to trap the Jirachi anymore, presumably because it is dead. If that happens, and that's the thing that Triangles needs to avoid, but if that happens, then River has a way back into this game, but I don't see it happening. And maybe that is a lesson. That maybe you can take it slow and measured. And again, Triangles is a fantastic player, but even he acknowledged in the chat that he was getting very lucky with the Doug Trio not getting roared in. So maybe taking it too slow is something to avoid as well. We're going to see the spin again. Triangles knows his lesson now. He's making sure to keep the Claydol in and get the spikes off of the field. Does not want the Doug Trio to get its health lost. So all right, there is a spike up, and Skarmory is going to roar again. Still no Doug Trio. And a Toxic miss, so really tough turn for River. That's 5 Toxics left, with 8 rests. Yeah. Here's Swampert, again inviting Melodic in for another freeze chance. Does not find it. Recover as Jirachi comes in. Yep. And 20 recovers left, so quite a lot. One other thing I think I would take away from this game, and this is a shout out and a call out to Violet River and Miyoki and all of these newcomers. I know you guys like this fucking Jirachi set. I hate it. Please stop using it. I can't stand this Jirachi set. This fucking Body Slam, Fire Punch, Wish, presumably Protect, or some sort of last move. Like, sometimes I see you guys run this fucking Hidden Power Grass shit. This is bad. Stop doing it. Maybe you're better than me. You probably are. You probably all think you are, at the very least. But I hate that set. I hate seeing it. I feel like it does nothing. Like, who would win? Your entire Gloomon or any Pokemon with the move Rest? Like, come on. Like, yeah, it does well into offense, but come on. One thing I should note is that this Claydol does not have Earthquake, which is really funny. I should have noted that earlier. It's Rapid Spin, Fire, Psychic, and then Rest, obviously. So it dropped Boom and it dropped Earthquake. Very funny, very funny Claydol set. All right, Blissey is calm minding up, and this might be the end of the game coming. There's an Ice Beam. Breeze. Oh, no. It wasn't necessarily over, but now it probably is. Okay, Thawed. Only did 38%. Oh, jeez. Okay. Triangles plays it measured again. Forces the Swampert out. Here's the Melodic. Gengar finally goes back to full. Still paired. Still unfortunate. Oh, and Blissey comes in on the Jirachi turn for the recovery. Presumably this wish is going to Salamence. Or sorry, not Salamence. Swampert. Nope. Critical hit kills it. And that is going to be the game. For sure. Yep. Skarmory can pretend that it's going to be able to do anything now. It won't be able to do anything, let me tell you. Third spike is going to go down, or potentially just 2 spikes, yeah. And now Blissey is going to not be threatened by anything. It's going to, yeah. We're going to see the Skarmory get worn down, and that'll be that. 6 wishes left anyways, so... And the Dugtrio is not getting knocked in, to add insult to injury, just by the way. It's still not coming in. How many spikes are left? 10. Alright, there's enough. Yep. I think we can wrap this one up. 200 turns. Man, these 200 turns games. This is why Best of 1 is good in SPL, because sometimes you play 200 game turns, and the Dugtrio finally fucking comes in. Sorry, my bad. I lost my mind. No. You play 200 game turns, and I don't want to play another game after playing 200 game turns, and that is maybe the best argument for Best of 1 in SPL, is that you play you bring stall, and your opponent doesn't lose fast enough to your stall. All right. Triangles makes a risk, gets the Dugtrio in on the Jirachi. It's Protect last, so it's just Astarachi. Down it goes. Goodbye. And that'll be the game. We're gonna pretend that River will struggle for another couple turns, but it does not matter. Yep. Leech Seed, or yeah, here's Leech Seed. I'm surprised that Melodic isn't in. I mean, Melodic kind of just wins too, or Blissey, or anything, but we have chosen Slow Death. Oh, crit. And Celebi dies, but, I mean, obviously it does not matter. Blissey comes in and finishes it off, and that's game. Here's Skarmory versus the world. Alright, I have nothing left to say. I don't even know what Triangles is doing at this point. I mean, just click Hidden Power Fire, dog. Like, Thunderbolt is going to do 46%. Okay, nope. Playing it very, very, very safe. Just, I mean, it makes sense, but come on. Oh, come on. Just fucking click the move, dog. Thank you. 1 and 2. Alright. Very good. Game is over. 225 turns. 2 games left. Let's hop into them. I checked out of that game like 120 something turns ago, but just for the people, just for you guys, I sat through it. We're on to Endill versus Mako. Good team, good players who will bring offense. Yes, offense. Raikou lead. That's offense. Toxic on a roar turn. Let's go. All right, real Jirachi set. No, not real Jirachi set. All right, well, nice double back to Raikou as the Skarmory comes in. Skarmory is going to take its spike, but for 90% of its health. Nice sub on the Swampert coming in. I was going to say Mako potentially clicks Toxic here. Thunderbolt on the roar. And not looking great for Endill. Here's Skarm coming in on Zapdos is weird. I think it's just to sack it off and get Arrow in safely. Here's Tyranitar on a Porygon 2. Gotta be careful of Thunder Wave, which does click. Nothing wants to come in on the Porygon. Yeah, Jirachi is unfortunately the Pokemon to come in. Looking very tough for Endill here. Psychic from Jirachi. That's a good move. Wait, this Raikou doesn't have leftovers. I didn't even notice that. My fault. Still crazy. Kept as a Spike Sack. And Zapdos looks like a triple platinum matchup. Does kill the opposing Zapdos. Here's Arrow again. Porygon is going to be the swap in. Rock Slide does 40%. I mean, as long as Rock Slide doesn't... Okay, well. Fuck. I shouldn't have said anything. Of course it missed. Of course. Because why wouldn't it miss? There's Jirachi. On the Jirachi. Here's Calm Mind. Potentially, I was going to say Endill clicks Calm Mind as well, but no, he does not, because Paralysis is broken as heck. No Fire Punch Burn. I have been seeing like a lot less. I mean, obviously this is like not a real statistic, but it feels like the 20% chances are not happening. Here's the Grass. Goodbye Swampert. Let's Arrow in. Jirachi might live. It does live. And dies. Alright, that's the game. The only way to win now is with Dragon Dance Tyranitar. But there's a Dugtrio, so presumably, yeah, you Earthquake. You can use Raikou as a sack. Well, nope, critical hit. All right. But yeah, no, I mean the Tyranitar comes in and then can't DD on a Dugtrio, so it just kills and then yeah, gets killed later. Yeah, tough. Offense. Look at that. Porygon 2 offense. We love the digital duck. Tough luck for Endill, but just an unfortunate bring into double electric there. So here we go. Final game. McMeghan versus Pac. This is going to be a very interesting one, and I'm excited for it. Here we go. Never mind. I'm going to leave now. That's a Hariyama. Hariyama takes 57% from a Hydro Pump on turn 1 to knock off Salic Berry from Swampert. So, very useful stuff happening in the group chat. Hidden Power Flying from the Gyarados. Alright. This is presumably SD Pass? Calm Mind Pass? Yeah, one of those. Alright. Zapdos is going to come in with the Hidden Power Boost, or the Calm Mind Boost, rather. Probably still walled by Blissey. but goes for the pass back to Celebi. Very nice. I was going to say a second Calm Mind will hit the tower. Whoa, maybe I can't say that on YouTube. Whoops. Big explosion from the Metagross on the Charizard. And that Charizard was going to be very scary. Maybe a misplay from Pac, bringing the Metagross in. Potentially on trying to catch the Blissey, but one method of killing the Blissey is gone, and potentially a second one will go down here shortly. Metagross and Swampert are looking like the ways to kill Blissey here. And yeah, Swampert's going to take a big Seismic Toss. Here's Endeavor. I was going to say, oh, sub, okay. A Hydro Pump needs to hit. Yep, Hariyama is down. Oh, interesting. I'm surprised by no Endeavor there. All right. Now you just need to... Oh my gosh. All right. Missed Hydro Pump. That will probably be... That's so annoying. That's so annoying. Unfortunate for Pac. Here's the Roar. Hydro Pump? Yeah. Oh my god, it one-shots. Nuts, but Gyarados is allowed in, and that's going to be the end of Swampert. Yet another Pokemon that was able to deal with Blissey that suddenly isn't able to deal with Blissey. Here's the Blissey. If Metagross can muscle past Gyarados... Oh wait, counter? No, Thunder Wave, okay. I was going to say, geez. McMeghan has every strat... Okay, another Meteor Mash. No raise. Just fishing for paras here. Found one. Just great. I love full paralysis. I love Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave is such a good move. It's so fucking... Alright, just... Yeah, alright. Wrap it up. Super Epic Ampharos. Do we love Thunder Wave? Do we love Thunder Wave? Greatest move ever? Fuck this shit, man. It full parrot on Claydol coming in too. That's just, oh my god. I'm what's the point? What's the point? Alright. Metagross is gonna come back in on the Gyarados on the double edge. I mean, it's just gonna die to Earthquake, or Zapdos is gonna come in. Alright. So the biggest way to make it through Blissey is not dead because of bajillion full paras and random shit. Alright, cool. Alright. Suicune's in. Maybe Suicune will be able to do it if it's a rest Suicune. Here's Thunder Wave. So, potentially making it so that rest Suicune will not be able to do it because, you know, why the frick not? Would you just not, you know, not move randomly? It's cool. Alright, yep. Not I have no words. I have no words. Just what the heck ever. It's just like you can do everything right in a Pokemon game. You can do everything right, and then somebody clicks an innocent looking move, and it's just like, all right, cool. Well, I guess I'll never move for the rest of the game. Like, what? Here's a wish for the Gyarados, just to guarantee the win. Here comes Hidden Power Flying. Dragon Dance, that's fine. You don't care. You have a Blissey or a Claydol. Either way. And this game is over. There were chances for Pac, and they're gone because Thunder Wave. Very cool move. I was gonna say if that Celebi got Thunder Waved again, I was gonna scream. What's the point? Using another calm mind. Oh my god, please please do not. Please do not. Okay, alright, that's better. I mean, it doesn't change anything. The Zapdos' only way is to para the Blissey, and did not. And now it's like, alright. The status is stupid. But yeah, McMeghan is solidly... Okay, here's a crit. Crit! Alright, that's better. Maybe Pock turns this around? No? I don't know. McMeghan does not explode. Oh, protect. Alright. Yeah, McMeghan does not explode. McMeghan clicks a move. Oh, yeah. There we go. Next turn does click explosion. And now Gyarados will win. Alright. Down Celebi goes, and Suicune is on its way out as well. Sorry for losing my composure. However, do I really need to justify my response? I don't think so. I really do not think so. I think that my response to the move Thunder Wave is completely valid and justified by all of the evidence in front of us. And this is not to say that I think that Thunder Wave should be banned, but it's a crazy move. It's the best move in the game, by far. No contest, so what can you do? All right, well, welcome, or maybe not welcome, but thank you everybody for watching. This has been Gold Mason covering the Week 7 SPL games, and I will be back tomorrow for the rest of the week, for the entirety of the Week 8 games. I'm excited for those. And back the day after for the Week 9 ones, so stay tuned, stay hype. Thank you so much for watching my content. I mean, it's awesome. And then be ready for, once we catch up with SPL, be ready for... Why did I lose my train of thought? Oh, ADVPL, of course. ADVPL, which is on the horizon. I'm very excited for that. Yeah, I will see you guys next time on another commentated set. Thank you for watching my channel. This has been Gold Mason. Bye.